from the car. I'm wearing this very fun Harley and Ivy shirt and a Harley hat, which is kind of in theme for books I read while Krista was at court yesterday. But behold, Krista driving. We are headed to do a date day. We basically haven't been able to do any form of date since December. Yeah. And we probably would have done this much sooner had I not clipped my fingers. This is the beginning of the vlog. So if you didn't know, hi gremlins, my name is Catherine. I was injured by a snowblower and I'm missing part of my hand. Not a lot of my hand, just like a little bit of my hand.
Hi gremlins, my name is Krista, and on December 9th, I fell down the back stairs of our property and my finger broke in 2 different places. It's been fun.
Yeah, and broke in a way that is taking forever to heal. So like she is still healing. She's not in a brace or anything right now, but her left ring finger does not function at the same level it did before. Also my pinky is doing that thing where it wants to be British. But yes, so that happened to Krista. She's still healing. Then on February 19th, yes, because it was President's Day.
17th.
17th?
February 17th.
Was it 17th?
I think it was the 17th.
I don't know, it was President's Day. That's all I remember. I was clearing our snowblower and I thought the entire thing was turned off. Apparently a piece was still moving. Not the auger, I guess, according to my surgeon, but it lopped off the top joint of my middle finger and a little bit of my ring finger. So hand will function, it'll be fine, but I'm currently in this because even though I've had surgery, when you sew up an accidental amputation like this, the wound is not completely covered because there's not enough tissue to do that. So yes, this is how my hand looks when we're out and about, and I don't always wear my little bracey thing when I'm at home. But
I don't have my ring finger on because it won't fit on my
her wedding ring won't fit.
Because my finger is altered now.
Yeah, we have to resize it.
And a family court client had the nerve to yell at me when I was trying to get them legalized, being like, what do you know? You're not even married. And I was like,
oh, good lord. Anyway, so we're headed to the Destiny USA Mall for a little date day to get like food and walk around shops and books. I'm gonna look at books. My hand is getting really tired though, oh my gosh. So we're in the car, we're headed that way. We're listening to Iris Kelly Doesn't Date because we still haven't finished that, and we forgot we were in the middle of a sex scene, so that was a jarring start to the drive. But we're gonna try and finish Iris Kelly today because we've been listening to it for a while. Ooh, not you, the road itself is bumpy. But yeah, so we're gonna listen to that, we're gonna do the drive. We'll get to see some stuff. We'll film a little bit at the mall, but I gotta go because my hand is starting to cramp.
We just passed our twin.
Oh, weird. But yeah.
They even have the line down the side.
But yes, brain. So yeah, I'll talk to you about books I read yesterday when we get home, because it fits with the DC Comics themed stuff. But yeah, I will talk to you when we get to the mall. We're gonna have a little date day, and yeah, and then there will be books. So talk to you later, gremlins, at the mall.
Here we find Catherine in her natural habitat.
Drinking coffee, looking at books. Some of which I've read. I read these. I didn't read all of them. I think I read to there. Oh my god, that's a new one.
Did you know there's not a single chair in this entire bookstore?
This is true. Which is interesting. I did not expect that. There's nobody selling the kids section.
Nothing. They don't want people to sit.
I guess they don't want you to read the books.
They want you to buy and to leave. People are sitting on the floor reading books.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm past the age where I can comfortably sit on the floor and get myself up on my own.
I agree. I also would not be able to get up alone, especially like this.
Especially, yes, with my left hand.
Alright. Bye. For now. Good morning. We're at a silly angle in my office. Oh, no, that's totally not my camera. So I was weirdly looking at something because you can see Valentine's Day Chewbacca up there, but the cats, like my cats at a certain point, knocked my camera down onto the floor from like this ledge. So there's this like little purple spot in my viewfinder all the time. But I was like, oh no, did it happen again on the other side? It's fine. But good morning. You've already gone shopping. You've done some fun stuff. You are gonna get a little book haul. But I am here to present to you the actual theme of the vlog. So this is what I have read so far. So really only one book. I have read all of Bad Dream. This is by Nicole Maines and Rye Hickman, and it is a graphic novel that follows Dreamer, or Nia Nile. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Nile. But Nia Nile. No, it's Nile, not Nile. Nile. Nia Nile. Who is a character from Supergirl. So if you haven't watched Supergirl, that's totally fine. This is sort of a prequel-y book from what I can tell. I watched Supergirl, but I didn't finish it. And I don't know that I got a few episodes with Dreamer before I stopped watching, but not a ton. But I had actually gotten like a teaser for this comic in DC Pride one year, and then they normally include a story with Dreamer in it. So I was really curious to see what this book was, and it's just really, really good. So the reason that Nia is such like a big deal character is Nia is a canonically trans superhero. And in this one, she crosses over with Galaxy, the prettiest star in the galaxy, which I haven't read yet, but I really enjoyed the character in here, so I'm curious to see how this goes. In the story, Nia runs away from home because she has inherited her sister's powers, and she doesn't understand how that was possible. Her sister is older than her name is Maeve, she has purple hair, she has a really cool character design, but she's kind of a jerk in this. And there are some reasons, but they're from, well, their mom is from a planet where there are seers, and the daughters of seers can inherit their power. And they have always believed that Maeve would inherit her mother's because the mom had a vision where her daughter embraced her power and this whole thing. So she's been training Maeve for years to be a seer. And Maeve has yet to see the future, which makes her future blind. She hasn't seen anything, and Nia is having dreams. And the thing that I remember in this is that Nia's powers are also different. So in another DC Pride comic, there was something past this because there are more Nia comics. We learn that Nia's powers are even more different than a typical seer. She can see the future, but also she can like shoot electricity and some other stuff. So this was very cool. This was super like fun. There's a ball, I feel like if you don't know what a ball is, me trying to explain it is good. Like, Paris is Burning, a ball. Does that make sense to you? If you haven't seen Paris is Burning, you should see it. But I have read this and really enjoyed it. And then I'm currently in the middle of reading Nicole Maines' actual, like, memoir, which is It Gets Better Except When It Gets Worse, and other unsolicited truths I wish someone had told me. So I'm not super far in this yet, but I've read a little bit. And this is her story told by her. Now, apparently, I did not know this, and I felt a little dumb because I feel like I should have. Nicole actually had an entire book written about her family when she was much younger, about her being raised trans, but in this she discusses the fact that that book was more about her parents, and really like how you raise a trans child, and not really about like her. So that's been interesting, but we're getting her own discussion of herself as a child, eventually an adult. I'm only in the child section so far, so I haven't gotten really too far. It's a memoir, so I'm not really gonna summarize it for you, but the theme of this vlog is kind of unintentional because I was grabbing a bunch of things and then I was like, oh, I have a theme, because I have two other books lined up. I have Walking Practice and Cuckoo. And Cuckoo, not the movie, Cuckoo by Gretchen Felker Martin. And so this is like a, I'm gonna call it like Trans-cendent reading vlog, though I think someone has a Trans-cendent or like Trans-cendence reading challenge they didn't know about, because everything is going to be like trans, non-binary focused, which admittedly was kind of random. I grabbed these two. I already had What's the Tea, like I was just grabbing stuff from the library. And then Cuckoo I've been trying to get my hands on for ages, and it's suddenly in our Libby app as an audiobook, so I grabbed it. And then Walking Practice popped up on KU a week ago or so, and I wanted to read it. So we're just combining all of these things that I wanted to read together into a themed vlog because it just worked out that way, but I'm very excited. Oh, my hand is so cold. So yes, so the goal is to finish Nicole Maines' memoir today, tomorrow. It's not super long, and I think I could do that. Oh, where's my coffee? I need a sip of coffee. I'm drinking out of my giant Schitt's Creek mug. One sec. case you were curious, I don't have the bag, but I'm having Tiana's Bayou Brew, I think might be the name. It's the Tiana coffee from Joffrey's. That's what I'm having, and it's delicious. It tastes a little bit like beignets. It's wonderful. So yes, so those are the books I'm reading, and then I thought I would show you the books we picked up. So the first book is not from Barnes & Noble. While we were walking around, we went to TJ Maxx, and they had this incredibly pretty copy of Little Women, which I did a Little Women reading vlog to start the year, and I don't actually own Little Women, and I loved this book as a kid. And I saw it and I was like, that's so pretty. It was only $10. So I got it. I'm gonna find a place to put it, probably in our hallway bookshelf, but it's just like really, really pretty. It's like shiny and just like, this is so fun. They had a bunch of books like these, but I either already owned a version of that book or I just didn't want it. Like, they had Crime and Punishment and I didn't want a fancy copy of Crime and Punishment. And they had a Sherlock Holmes book, but I have a giant Sherlock Holmes compendium and it has everything in it already. So I was like, no, that one's pretty, but I already have one. But on to the Barnes & Noble books. So I'm going to show you Krista's book first. She picked this up while we were walking around. She hadn't heard of it, but it was very curious. So this is Laura Nowlin, If He Had Been With Me. And she grabbed it because the back said, stay, I whispered to him, stay in the car, stay in the moment, but of course he never does. She just thought this sounded really good, so she grabbed it, and it has like pretty sprayed edges and like a ribbon bookmark. It's really pretty. And then the side says, I love him in a way I cannot define. So very pretty. It's like a cloth bound. It feels really nice. So she got that one. That will also go on our hallway bookshelf. And then the Barnes & Noble bag rolled away. Hold on, hold on. Oh, coming back. Okay. And then this is what I got. So the first one I'm going to show you is, I just brushed my hair and it's very poofy today. Let's do book I already have read. So Krista, very specifically, this was very, very sweet of her. She was like, you cannot leave this bookstore until you find 3 books. And I was like, what? She was like, you have to get 3 books. Like, I had found 1 book and she was like, okay, 2 more books. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, you're getting 3 books today. So I got 3 books, but I got 1 book I had already read that I don't own physically. So I got Camp Damascus. I freaking love this book. It's by Chuck Tinkle. I adore this book. I like this more than Bury Your Gaze, though I do also really enjoy Bury Your Gaze, but this is so, so good. I have the audiobook because I got it, I think, on a discount after Bury Your Gaze came out. And when I read this originally, I read it from my library, which shocked me. I did not realize I would get this book, but it is so good. And I was so excited that they had a copy of it because I was like, I'm gonna buy it. So I got this. It was only $18, which I didn't think was that bad. So I got that one. Then for new books, kind of weirdly in the same vein, but romance, I got Say a Little Prayer. I saw an ad for this, saw it at the bookstore, and was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And then both people at the cash were like, this is such a good book, I cannot wait to finish it, like talking about how good it was. So I'll read the description really quickly. Oh gosh. She has 7 days to commit 7 sins. Riley quietly left church a year ago when she realized there was no place for a bi girl in her congregation, but it wasn't until the pastor shunned her older sister for getting an abortion that she really wanted to burn it all down. It's just her luck then that she sent to the principal's office for slapping a girl talking smack about her sister, and in order to avoid suspension, she has to spend spring break at church camp. The only saving grace is that she'll be there with her best friend Julia. Even if Julia's dad is the pastor and he's in charge of camp, sorry, I read that weird, but Riley won't let a technicality like repenting get in the way of her true mission. Instead of spending the week embracing the 7 heavenly virtues, she decides to commit all 7 deadly sins. If she can show the other campers that sometimes being a little bad is for the greater good, she could start a righteous revolution. What could possibly go wrong, aside from falling for the pastor's daughter? So this sounds so fun. And then the last one I got is The Unworthy. This is the new Augustina, oh no, I'm gonna mess up her last name. Bastarika, I believe. And it's a translated work, so hold on. I think the translator is listed. Translated by Sarah Moses. This is by the author of Tender is the Flesh, which I do own. And this one is religious. So, oh, this one has, this is really pretty. One-handedness. But that's so pretty. But the description of this is, from her cell in a mysterious convent, cloistered away from the climate catastrophe that has plunged the world into chaos, a woman writes the story of her life in whatever she can find. Discarded ink, dirt, and even her own blood. A lower member of the sacred sisterhood, deemed an unworthy, she dreams of ascending to the ranks of the enlightened at the center of the convent, and of pleasing the forbidding superior sister. But when a strange newcomer joins the ranks of the unworthy, the narrator is forced to consider her long-buried past. As she grows closer to the newcomer, she's increasingly haunted by questions that she can no longer ignore. How did she get to the sacred sisterhood? Why can't she remember her life before? And what really happens when a woman is chosen to be enlightened? So I was super excited, and if you can't tell, there's a theme. This is all like religious. It's either religious horror or religious romance, and I'm a sucker for like a church camp moment, a religion at the core of the story kind of thing. So I'm very, very excited. I'm not 100% sure when I'm getting to these. I don't want to hold off on them for too long, so I'll probably read them in April. Well, the 2 new ones. Camp Damascus, I'm gonna reread in June. That's one of my goals for June, is to reread that and probably some other stuff. But I think that's it for now. I have to get ready for work, or finish getting ready. I already made coffee. I'm already dressed. I already did my bandage swap for the morning. It's a weird routine you get into when you have to change gauze on your hands every so many hours. I get to sleep with them on. I don't have to like wake up and change them, but I have to change them in the morning. So yeah, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna finish getting all my stuff set up, and I will talk to you later, gremlins. Good morning, gremlins. You might be a little crooked. You are. I can definitely tell you are. This will be a quick clip anyway, so just maybe handle with the off-centeredness. I'm also wearing my Ouija sweatshirt again, mostly because, so Krista was like super tired this morning. Chloe, our oldest dog, she's actually in really, really good health, but like she had blood tests done and like all this stuff, and she's like peak health. But occasionally after she got this like upset stomach thing, if she eats something that disagrees with her, she gets sick for like 24 hours. And last night at like 5 o'clock, she got sick. And then she like won't be able to sleep through the night. So she only did get up once, but Krista like took care of her and took her out. So Krista was really tired because she was like, she had her outside and she was giving her some medicine. So she wound up basically using like her lunch break in the morning. It was a whole thing, but she was really, really tired. So, I'm doing this super quick. Well, I have like a teeny break because I had a bunch of stuff to do this morning, and then I was making sure she got out the door because she was tired, but she had some stuff she had to take with her. So I just wanted to let you know that before work, I actually finished It Gets Better, Except When It Gets Worse. This is a memoir. Beyond the fact that I don't star rate books anyway, I wouldn't have rated a memoir just because it's someone's personal story. This I do think is very, very interesting, and I think regardless of who you are, I think it would be an interesting read because it does go into Nicole growing up, Nicole's life, how Nicole lives now, Nicole's connection to DC as Dreamer. There is a whole section on like acting and Dreamer and some parts that she had on other shows, and just a number of like, I feel like if you like a Hollywood memoir, this would be fun. I feel like if you really liked Supergirl, this would be fun. Though, please note, I will point out that I remember the Supergirl fandom being a little stressful for me. There are some fandoms that I did not partake in as they were just very stressful. And there's a discussion of that, and I'm like, yeah, I felt like that fandom was very stressful. Nothing on them. Some fans get very, very attached to a medium, and I understand that. But I was never like, the only fandoms I was that into are like Carmilla, and that fandom was very odd because it was very Canadian, which sounds so strange, but like I was in the US, so it's not like I was going to events or anything. Like I was just like talking in the fandom kind of randomly. But anyway, so there is a discussion of Dreamer and Supergirl and fandom attached to Supergirl, which was very interesting as someone who didn't actually finish the series, and someone who was just kind of like dipping a toe in and out. I watched the first 2, I think, and then I kind of fell off, and then I would like pop back in when Alex and Maggie were dating. I would like pop in and out and watch some episodes, and I know I watched a couple episodes with the Dreamer in them, but I was so like removed from DC CW stuff that I just wasn't watching it anymore. I wasn't even really watching Batwoman at that point. I was just kind of waiting for it to hit streaming, because I just like had feelings about the Batwoman series. I will not get into those here. You don't need that. You really don't. But I did really enjoy the book. I thought it was very cool. Her tone is very casual, so it felt very conversational. Someone had mentioned that they listened to the audiobook and it was really good because Nicole does the audiobook, and I could definitely see that. This would feel like a conversation with a friend where they're just kind of like telling you about themselves. So I could definitely see that being a huge plus, but I did still enjoy it. It's not very long. I think you could breeze through it. I also then recommend that you read Bad Dream, even if you haven't read it, as a follow-up, because the discussion of Dreamer in the comics is at the end of this, and so I think it's like a nice segue if you haven't read any Dreamer before. On top of that, I actually just saw that Nicole is working on a new series that has Dreamer in it. I forget what it's called, I'm very sorry, but it's a new DC series that looks very interesting. So I don't know when I'll get into that. I was very up on like reading comics when they came out, and I'm not. It's an expensive hobby if you want to read comics before they're released as a trade, like a big bind up, and I just like fell off of that. I do have a lot of Harley and Ivy with beautiful covers in a box, and some are framed. I need to put them up eventually, but yes, so this is very interesting. I really enjoyed it. This does make me want to watch her episodes of Supergirl that I never saw. Not right now. I'm not in the mood to like dive into DCCW again, but she did mention Yellow Jackets, and I was like, yeah, Yellow Jackets. She's great in that. If you haven't seen it, she's really, really good. And she has a fish named Gilly the 4th? 5th? Gilly the number. And I really, really enjoyed her in that, and I'm hoping she's in this season. That's not really a spoiler. She has not appeared yet because of how the plots are going, but like I really want her to appear in the new season. But anyway, finish that. I do think my plan for later, because I'm gonna finish this clip pretty fast, for like lunch, sorry, oh my gosh, my nose is running, so we're gonna be very quick. So the plan for later today, my lunch break, maybe this evening, especially because I can read this in the dark. Let me pull this up. So this is my Kindle option. Behold the back. It's very cute. But my plan is to start reading, try and turn this, Walking Practice. So in this, we are following an alien who has crashed on Earth. And to survive, they're gonna have to do something called walking practice, which is basically hunting for food and figuring out how to like exist in human society. The reason this fits, besides the fact that Dreamer is a gay alien, well, a trans alien, trans alien. I'm drinking coffee, not caffeinated enough yet. This alien shifts their gender and appearance depending on what they're doing. And so a lot of this turns into a discussion of gender, of performance, of being accepted as a human, or how you can be perceived as human and fit into those like paradigms that exist in human society. So I am not going to read you a ton of this. This does say it's part psychological thriller and part searing critique of social structures that marginalize those who are different, the disabled, queer, and nonconformist. So I think this really fits well into the theme. So I am very intrigued. Beyond that, it's not super long. It is a translated work. I did want to mention that. So the book itself is by Dolka Min. I think I'm saying that right. But is translated from the Korean by Victoria Caudle. So I do want you to be aware that it is translated, but that is it so far. I have not read any of it. I have heard very good things. So I'm very curious to read this. This will be my like lunchtime read since Krista is not doing lunch, but I need to go. So that is the update for now. Really enjoyed the memoir. Definitely need to, like, I'm gonna close this up, get photos because I want to post like a double Nicole Main's book thing at some point this week. But yeah, so I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later when I have updates on walking practice, gremlins. Hello. I do not have a book update for you, gremlins, but I do have a goofy update. So today is gonna be weird. Some work stuff is just strange, like scheduling wise. So I'm not really doing a lunch, but I'm going to have these animal crackers or animal cookies per the box. This is from a trip we did to see the fireworks on the 4th of July in, oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the name of it now. It's on the water. That's all my brain will remember. But we got these, and it's Thousand Island animal cookies, which the Thousand Islands is an actual place. It's not like salad dressing flavored cookies, but it's like this super cute box with like animal fun facts and stuff. And I just cut open the box because I'm kind of taking my lunch now. It's a whole weird thing. But it's little cookies, and there's a little otter. Is it gonna focus? Probably not. Please believe me. There's like an otter and a little, I don't know what this is. Is it on the thing? I think this is some sort of animal. I'm not sure what this is. There's like buffaloes, which is interesting. There's like a falcon. Grrr. Yes, I made a weird falcon sound. Like a coyote or a wolf. Like, they're like local animal-y things. I don't even know if these are still good, but I was hungry and I couldn't figure out what to grab that I could eat like one-handed while kind of still monitoring my computer. So yes, so I'm gonna eat these. Actually, I could take a bite of one. Let's take a bite of the coyote. Oh no. It's very stale. Oh, that's sad. No, it's not a cookie. My brain is confused. I want them to be crunchier, because like animal cracker, but these are cookies. So I can't. Sorry, I made like a very big mouth smacking sound there, but they're so weird. They're not bad, they're just weird. Like, my brain wants an animal cracker, and so biting these are definitely not a cracker. So that one's a little better. They're a cookie. Like a faux shortbread cookie. I'm not gonna eat all of these. I might just eat like a couple and figure out something else for food. But I thought I would show them to you because they're cute. I like the box a lot. I think the box is adorable. It's like so local, animal-y. Let me read you a fun fact. Woodpeckers slam their bills into wood 1,000 times the force of gravity. Wow. And beavers can stay submerged underwater for up to 15 minutes. Those are the facts you're getting. But I gotta go. Technically lunch, but weird. So I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I have a walking practice update officially. Hello. Sorry for all the same angles today, but it's one of those days. So it is after work now, and I wanted to fill you in because I was able to read some during lunch of walking practice. I'm about, according to Kindle, I'm roughly 59% through. It is so interesting. So the setup of the story, we begin, I know I read you a brief synopsis and I will not spoil this for you, but what we have here is an alien being who has crash landed on Earth, and they have their own appearance. They are an alien that has, they roughly explain it as 3 legs and 1 arm, but they point out that like humans may think they are 4 legs, but in truth they are 3 legs and an arm. Also, they cannot lose a limb. It like grows back, which I thought was interesting. Can't grow these back. Sorry, I make jokes because it occurred. I just, please note my amputation humor is just because things occurred and there's nothing I can do about it. And so if you don't make jokes, what do you do? Trauma responses. Anyway, in this, but what's interesting is they begin this, and I am using they because we are in first person, so they are consistently using I, but they are talking to you directly. So you, the reader, are with them consistently. Like, they are speaking to you. They are explaining to you. You are being told the story of the day. You are the reader. You are even called the reader. Like, hello, reader. Things like that, which I actually love in books. I think it's so much fun. It's like a fourth wall break, sort of. So our creature, alien, currently has no name for us. I don't believe they have an actual name, or if they do, they're not sharing it with us because perhaps our puny human ears would not understand it. They appear initially in a certain human shape. They begin the story, and I think a couple of people have read this quote, so I'm not going to read it directly, but there is a section where they're like, you determine someone's gender every single day. You choose that construct. You see someone and you try and match their gender to their physical appearance. And so you're probably doing that now. You're choosing my gender based on how I'm talking, how I'm presenting to you in this story. And they then go on to say, I am female, but they do not remain in a female presenting body for long. In that moment, they are in a female body for the sake of hunting. They appear the way they do because they need to right now. They also talk about how it is exhausting maintaining this form. So it's not like Mystique, who can just like flip into a new form and it seems very easy. It is remarkably difficult for our alien friend to do this. Later, we are presented their actual appearance with a description, which I will say, if you're not prepared for it, there are some formatting things. So when they are relaxed and not pretending to be a human, the aliens' dialogue, because this is really dialogue they're speaking to you, the spacing of words is different. Like letters are stretched out, like they're kind of like languidly being like, and this is how I feel right now, because they're like de-stressing kind of. So the formatting is different to accommodate that like visual sense, I would say. Like that you would be talking to something who is not constrained to human typing, human words. They are now like stretched out and relaxed and speaking how they want, with their mouth held as they choose to hold it, with their appearance relaxed. So the words relax while you're reading them, which I find very interesting. There are some cool illustrations, and we have seen our being, the alien, also present in a male body for a different event. So they do change shape. So they say I am female, but I don't know that actively, like in that moment, yes they were. But since they change human anatomy consistently, they are different. And I don't know that they themselves, unless they were saying they are female, I don't know that they actually have a gender. I mean, I'm sure they do, possibly, though it seems as though they just sort of are. Their presence, like their appearance as an alien, is not something that we could define. I think if you saw it, it would be a little bit H.P. Lovecrafty and your brain would break. So there's no real, I don't know that there's an equivalent, because they also discuss the fact that human beings are weird. Like, we would have never thought you looked like you look like. Like, that's weird. You look weird. Which I do love when aliens are like, you have 2 legs. That's weird. I love that. So I'm having a wonderful time. It is gory. There's some gore, which someone had mentioned, but I'm just like, this is wild. Like, it took me by complete surprise. At a certain point, I was just like my face was just like hanging open. So I'm really enjoying it. I am not quite done yet. I'll let you know final thoughts when I'm like officially done, but I am really, really loving it so far. I think the translation is really well done. And I do think the translation takes into account the spacing, because I believe the original novel would have been spaced the way I was talking, with like words kind of spread out. We are set in Korea. So if you are reading the book, they occasionally mention, and we've been watching Lost, and for whatever reason, it has stuck in my brain, the currency name in Korea from Lost, and they use that throughout. So we are in Korea in the English translation, just in case, because I feel like sometimes translated works, it sometimes feels like vaguely American, but you don't know where you are. This is in Korea. We are in some area of Korea, a big city, but they don't specify where, just we have to be somewhere in Korea. So that's all I'm going to say. But that is it for this right now. I'm hoping to finish it today. I might read some tonight. If not, I will finish it tomorrow morning before work, and then I'll move on to Cuckoo, the audiobook I have, because I can definitely listen to an audiobook tomorrow. I wasn't in the audiobook zone today, and I had a lot of stuff I had to do, so I was just kind of like, I feel like I will be distracted. So just reading during lunch was helpful. So yeah, gonna go talk to you about walking, the end of walking practice, the next time I chat with you. So talk to you probably tomorrow morning, gremlins. Good morning, gremlins. I promise. Did you? I feel like it tilted as I started filming, or I'm losing my mind. It's one or the other. But good morning, gremlins. It is right before work, and I can tell you that, one sec, I will actually pull up the visual. Also, I did not redo my makeup this morning. I'm periodically doing it just to like practice, since it's kind of awkward to do, but I have finished walking practice. The ending of this, absolutely wild. We also learn the alien's name, so that was fun at the end. And I would say also read the translator's note. It's really helpful, and it's very sweet. So I really, really enjoyed that. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget her YouTube name. Hold on, I'm gonna find it because I want to say specifically the channel I got this from. So one sec. I know, I think she posted a video recently. Oh my gosh, my concept of time is wild. Could have done this before I turned you on, but nope. Okay, one sec. Oh gosh, come on. Where is it? I know she's moving, so it's hard because I don't think she's posted this week yet, and normally she would have. So one sec. There we go. Spooky Little Book Nerd. There we go. I found it. I thought that was it, and then I was like so worried I was saying the wrong thing. So Spooky Little Book Nerd is actually why I picked this up. She had mentioned it in a video and it sounded incredible, and truly it is incredible. It was so good, so well written. Well written / well translated. I just had the absolute best time. It was so freaking cute. Cute is the wrong word, but also like weirdly I just like, I don't know why cute came to mind, but somehow in my brain I'm like, that was the perfect word. It was gory, it was wild, there were some twists and turns, we learned crazy things about alien anatomy, but this was so freaking good. I highly recommend, if you haven't heard of it, to check it out. And also they do a lot of the like gender switching, discussions of gender and gender concepts in the world. So that was very interesting. So yeah, I finished that one. I need to write it in my book and mark it, definitely including it as a top fave of the month. So what I've been doing is, I don't really show this, also it's kind of difficult for me to write still. I write down every book I read in the month, and then I write down like what medium it was. So in this case I would put like a K next to it for Kindle. And then if I think that book could be like a favorite of the year, I circle it so I can come back to it. And I'm just using that to help me, because last year I did a favorites video and it was really hard because I like didn't mark anything because I don't star rate books. So I can't write down a star rating because I don't do that. And so I didn't really have a frame of reference, so I was like, books. So I'm circling them so that I remember, because I do remember the books, but having a circle on them will help me find them faster. So yeah, so I gotta write that down. And then we're gonna move on to Cuckoo today. I need to actually pull that up on that. So I have Libby on the same device as my Kindle. It's just an iPad. My sister gave it to Krista, and Krista doesn't use it super often, so I put like Libby on it and Kindle and all that stuff. So I need to get that set up so I can listen to it. But yeah, so that's the plan for today is Cuckoo, but I need to get more coffee. Actually, I need to get coffee. And then yeah, once I have coffee, I can start that. But it was so good. Genuinely like a very cool, weird horror book, like just really well done. So yeah, so I'll get you, do I know how to look up descriptions of books in Libby? Do I know that? I think I do. Also, this is just an aside, go Luck Yourself, the second book in like the sequel to Have Yourself a Merry, no, Night Before Christmas, good lord, is out apparently, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. The other one was too, and I did not think it would be on Kindle Unlimited because it hasn't been, because it's been in pre-order, but it's on Kindle Unlimited. So like as a book I can read with my subscription. So I'm gonna return Walking Practice and then check that out. That's what I call it because this is you're borrowing it. Get that, and I think because St. Patrick's Day is next week, I am gonna try and do like a queer romance book vlog next week, like on the fly. Even though I have library books I need to read, just because I want to read that, and I have that book I got at the store, at Barnes & Noble, so that would be 2 books at least. I think it's what I'm gonna do. I think it's what I'm gonna do. I think it's my plan, but I need to go. I need to get coffee. So I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I start Cuckoo.
Macmillan Audio presents Cuckoo by Gretchen Felker Martin. Read by Amy Landon, Bobby Roque, Nikki Endres, Grace Rolick, Kurt Graves, Senna Breyer, Zena Robinson, and Zim of all trades.
Hello. This is a horrible angle, but this is what we're going with. I'm drinking coffee. I'm gonna duck a little. Is this a passable angle? I feel like I should move you. Let's see. Maybe I'll just briefly hold you? I don't know. But look, behold, I'm drinking coffee. I'm warming up my hand. My hand is so cold right now. But I want to give you a super quick update on Cuckoo. I'm not very far in. I'm listening to it at 2.5 times speed, and I think it's at I'm like 25% through. I definitely will not be finishing this today, so this will be tomorrow. But if I remember correctly, so I had wanted to read this one for a while because the premise of the book is they were following a number of kids who are at basically a conversion camp. It's a religious camp. They are trying to get these kids to identify as straight and their gender at birth. So like that's a whole thing. Or I guess it's, they want them to identify as they identify on their birth certificates and also as straight. So there you go. That's what I'm going to go with. I think that's a better explanation. So think, but I'm a cheerleader, but scary, or Camp Damascus if we had spent more time at the actual camp. So we followed some people being collected to be taken to this camp. And oh, there's so many names, and because it's not written, it's hard for me to remember all of them. There are some trans folks, so there are some people who are being forced to be in cabins that don't align with who they are. We have a lesbian. I'm trying to think. I feel like there also is a gay guy. I think he just got introduced, but I can't remember anyone's names. I'm so sorry. So we have a broad variety of youth covered for this camp, and like weird things are going on. So the opening of the book sets up some kind of monster, and I don't want to tell you too much because I feel like it would spoil a lot, but there's a monster established in the first chapter and it has something to do with this camp because the camp is discussed in that first chapter. A bunch of stuff happens, and then we are set up at there's a cat yelling at me. I hear a cat yelling at me. Sorry, it was distracting. So the camp is set up, and then after that point, we meet a number of people who are being taken to the camp or who are already at the camp. So there's just a lot of names. It is a very religious camp. We've just been introduced to what school is there, and it makes absolutely no sense. And they're doing, the reason I mentioned but I'm a cheerleader is they're having them do very specifically like male, female, quote unquote tasks. All of the girls have to do all the cooking and cleaning, like practice stuff. And then all the boys, I'm saying this with like heavy italics and quotes, have to do farm work. And it's just so bizarre. Like it's set up well, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks a lot. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a little slow, but that's totally fine. I think it's bigger than Manhunt page-wise. Also, Manhunt, if I remember, was like, it started with a ton of action and then it kind of slowed down a little, but they're also in a fight for their lives in Manhunt, so there's a lot of like throughout, because there's a lot happening in that. But this feels similar. There are a lot of different points of view, a lot of different people, and what they're experiencing at the camp. And we are getting teases of something is wrong, like something besides the general horribleness of this place, something weird is going on. So that's all I'm going to tell you for now. I'm really enjoying it. I really appreciate it that it's a full cast audio, so it just switched between voices for different people, which I really like. So I'm going to keep listening to it today, get as far as I can. I'll probably update you to what point I'm at, because Jordaline read this and said that at a certain point it switches to adults, kind of like it does. So we'll see. If this is like it, I may not like the adult version as much, because in it, I like them as kids, and then I'm kind of like, when they're adults. But we shall see. But I will talk to you more gremlins when I'm farther in, and awkwardly, I'm gonna have to put you down. Ta-da! Behold all the random stuff and bad lighting. But I'm gonna go. I had to put you down so I could push the record button. But I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I'm farther in Cuckoo. Hello. I thought I would give you like a vaguely different angle. It's the end of the day, but I just finished part 1 of Cuckoo. It gets gory as heck. So it definitely picks up gore-wise, action-wise. So many things start happening as we draw to a close of part 1. So I haven't started part 2 officially. I listened to like the quote they used to open it, but I don't know what year it is. I don't know how old anyone is. I do believe Jordaline said they're adults in the second half, even though it's not really a half. So part 1 is 70% of the audiobook, according to Libby, and that is a lot of text. Like, that's a lot of book. The issue is there are a lot of people, so again, because I'm not reading it physically, I have a sneaking suspicion I've either forgotten people or combined people. They did identify people by name, so like I tried to remember everyone. So they do describe the things like the thing that's going on at the camp, and I will not tell you because that would be a huge spoiler, but it is gory. It gets creepy. There's a lot of explanation. Also, the way things are described, just, oh, good Lord. Oh, do not eat while you're reading this, FYI. There's a lot of talk of bugs, just like randomly throughout, and like, the act of decomposition involving bugs, which was, unpleasant. Also, very sure someone lost part of their hand, because they said, like, her fingers just stopped, and I was like, cool. So that was a fun moment where I was like, what, wait. So yes, but I am on part 2. I'm gonna I'm gonna listen to the rest of it tomorrow, so I'll give you final thoughts then. But I did really enjoy the build up to the end of part 1. Again, my concern is that because it does, so the pacing, because this was compared to it, we're going to continue comparing it to it very briefly. The pacing of section 1 is much faster than if you read it and the child version, how that goes, because the child version in, like, the child section in it itself just kind of stops. Like, everything is like going and going and going and going and going. Takes a while, and then the ending is very fast, and then we're at the adult section. This, there was a larger buildup, longer buildup. There are some things, I do think that this had to have been inspired by it in some capacity, because there's a mention of like connection between all of the kids at the camp in a way that feels similar to how suddenly all the kids in it can kind of like know where they are, or like have kind of an understanding of what's going on with everybody. So that's just generally a thought I had. It is very different in terms of monster, I will say that. But very cool. I'm really enjoying it. I'm curious to see what part 2 does, but I'm not going to get to that till tomorrow. So I will not talk to you again until tomorrow morning, where I will finish listening to Cuckoo. I also may try and put on Bit, the movie Nicole Maines is in that has vampires, because I didn't realize it was on Tubi, and I think I could play it like as background, or possibly like start it before work tomorrow. I don't know yet, but I'm interested to watch it because I did want to see it, but I couldn't find it on anything, and someone literally like posted they had just watched it and they're like on Tubi. So I'm gonna see. I may toss that in at the end of the vlog just because I'll have had it on, but I will let you know. Though I'm gonna go for the day, gremlins, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning when I have coffee and more of Cuckoo lined up.
I like this one. She reminds me of somebody I used to know.
Hello, gremlins! I adjusted the camera so it's not as crooked. Finally. This is the final update. So throughout today, I watched Bit. So it was mostly before work that I watched Bit. I had it on. It is so freaking good, and weirdly, I think I actually saw it like a long time ago. So maybe whenever it came out, I caught it on something. I don't know, but I could swear I had seen it before. But really enjoyed it. If you love queer vampires, do it. It is so gay. It is so wonderful. Watch it. Just watch it. It's so good. And Nicole Maines is really good as Laurel. But highly recommend. Highly recommend. Then I did finish Cuckoo. It was set, so I don't remember what year the first part is set in, but the second part is set in 2011, and then there is an epilogue set a little farther after that too. Does feel very reminiscent of it, but way gorier, way more intense, way more monster moments. So the ending was good. I do think overall I prefer Manhunt to this one, and I do think this one's like was just slow for me. I just do. I don't know. Something about it was just like too slow, or it just wasn't giving me exactly what I wanted. Still enjoyed it, just not as much as I did Manhunt. I do think if you liked this and want even like more whoa kind of horror, you should read Brainworms by Alison Rumpet, and I can tell you the audiobook for that is very good, but do not listen to it in a public location or at work because it is NSFW. But I would say, I feel like if you liked Cuckoo but wanted it to be wilder, Brainworms by Alison Rumpet. Also a trans story. Like the story focuses on trans women. Trans and non-binary women? People? I know a trans woman is like a key character, and that comes up because there's a discussion of a pregnancy fetish. But I think one of the characters is non-binary. There's a lot of good representation in that, but it is definitely an NSFW horror book. Very extreme horror. So yeah, I did like Cuckoo. Just, if you liked it, I would say if you want a queer it-inspired story, definitely check it out. I would recommend Manhunt over this one if you're going to check out things by Gretchen Felker Martin. And then, again, Brainworms for a horrifying version-ish. It's not
there are like comparable elements that I think would work for you between the stories. Just again, bit incredible. I think that is genuinely everything I have to talk to you about. I got all the books done. I'm just excited my library actually got Cuckoo. I was so surprised. Also, I'm wearing a Chucky sweatshirt specifically because Chucky would actually join like P-Flag. He is a very solid ally, especially to Gigi, his child. They changed their name to Gigi in the series. So if you haven't watched the series, that might be a teeny spoiler, but they are Gigi instead of Glenn or Glenda at a certain point. So just letting you know, I actually would love a Gigi thing, like an item to add to my collection because I freaking love Gigi. Seed of Chucky is like my first memory of Chucky. So while the movie is wild, I have rewatched it more than some of the others. Bride of Chucky is my favorite, but I've also rewatched Seed of Chucky just because I remember it nostalgically. And when I was like getting around it, I was like, oh yeah, Chucky and Tiffany are actually incredibly supportive parents. So that's why we're wearing Chucky today. But yeah, so that is everything. If you have more like queer horror to recommend, please let me know, because I have a ton of queer romance lined up, but not a ton of like queer horror. And I love queer horror. So if you have some, please let me know in the comments, or if like you know someone who did like a list, or if there's a video I should watch, please tell me. I'm also now very paranoid that I have lunch in my teeth. No, I don't. Sorry. I did literally look at my teeth. We had Reuben's. Krista picked us up Reuben's from this bakery that's like trying to be kind of like a restaurant bar now too. And for St. Patrick's Day, they're doing them for like the week. And it was really, really good. But also I was like, oh, do I have food in my teeth? And I didn't think about that. So yes, I had lunch. This is the end of my lunch break. That's how I'm filming this real fast. But yeah, so Cuckoo was good. Just Manhunt is better. And also does the multiple narrators kind of thing. So I would say Manhunt over that one. But yeah, really enjoyed Nicole Main's memoir. Thought it was a fun time. Really, really enjoyed Bad Dream, the Dreamer graphic novel, and I would read more of Dreamer's comics. So I should check out the one that's coming out, but I'll probably have to wait till the first like bind up. What else did I read? I read other things. Brain. Oh, Walking Practice. Walking Practice was my favorite thing in this video. It was so freaking good. So that was definitely my favorite read of the vlog. But I'm gonna go. My battery is also dying, so this is perfect timing. Like this, subscribe, things, also on Instagram at CliffGloverAfter. I will talk to you in the next one, gremlins.